Howdy YouTube, my name's Ethanra, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. So I'm going to finish my little talk about the lingering wheel. I kind of remember what I was saying. Unfortunately, I don't remember all of it or what I was saying before that because, as per usual, I was recording a video, something happened, and then I had to start it all over again. So, I don't know exactly what all I said, but for this video, I'm going to dedicate it pretty much entirely to the lingering wheel. So, I might have to touch on a little bit of another topic. That almost looks like Eternia right there. Almost. Anyway, so just to kind of make reference to what I'm saying, if you think back, and sorry if I repeat myself, again, don't recall what exactly got recorded or not. If you think back to when Sora absorbed Ventus, that gave him the ability to wield the Keyblade and the elemental power of light. That's what he got from Ventus. Later on, when Roxas absorbed Xion, that gave him the ability to dual wield, as well as increase his already powerful light abilities even more. Then, when Sora absorbed Roxas, in turn absorbing Xion as well, that made him even stronger. Because there's kind of a cheat way to do it, so some people probably got it early, but I think from a canon perspective, when Sora unlocks final form is when he's supposed to have, well, I mean, he already absorbed him, but it's more like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, acknowledging his presence, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, my point is, when a Keyblade wielder absorbs another Keyblade wielder, it seems to magnify their powers. That was brings me to the topic of the lingering wheel. The lingering wheel was created by Terra at the Keyblade graveyard when Xehanort had possessed him. When the lingering wheel rose up to fight Xehanort, it had all of Terra's abilities right there. So the lingering wheel at that moment was like Terra at his peak. It could use the same shot locks. It could use the same, I can't remember what they're called. Command styles, I think they were called. They could use that. It could do everything Terra could do except, you know, call for help because it's the lingering wheel. It has no heart. It has no connection with anybody. It can only feel connections. Like I mentioned, it felt familiarity with Sora and more specifically its successor, or Terra's really successor, Riku. It felt determination and desire to protect Aqua and Ventus, Terra's friends, and then, this goes without saying, is unrelenting hatred towards Xehanort. Being an inanimate object, the lingering wheel cannot feel things on its own. That's what Terra was for. Terra gave it his lingering feelings. And again, sorry, I know I said some of this before, but what I'm about to get into, I don't rightly remember if it was recorded in the video before last or the video before this one that I had to delete because it got messed up. But with that being said, it makes me wonder what would happen if Terra, wow, that was some hops, man. So it made me wonder what would happen if Terra had absorbed, if he can, the lingering wheel. And let me go and say this. I wouldn't go so far as to call these theories, because most of these are, I don't want to call them fan fiction either. I'm not going that far, I don't think. But it's more like what if scenarios, you know? But it does make you wonder if the lingering wheel is canon. There is no if about it. It is. The question is, what's going to happen to it when it's no longer necessary? When Terra is freed from Xehanort, and Aqua and Ventus are saved, and Xehanort is defeated, the lingering wheel has no purpose left. It was created to stop Xehanort, which it kind of did, but not entirely. So when Xehanort is stopped for good, as well as Aqua and Ventus being saved, then it has no reason to linger around anymore. So then what happens to it? Does it just fade away? Or will Terra reabsorb it? And this is why this is important. Whenever a Keyblade wielder absorbs another Keyblade wielder, it seems to, there we go. It seems to magnify their powers or give them new abilities or some such thing. Let me go and touch on this too. Sora, I didn't know this for a while, but it turns out Sora can dual wield whenever he wants. I mean, let me be more specific. I know this for a while now, but back when Kingdom Hearts 2 was still fresh and America never even heard of a final mix, you know, that kind of thing, I always believed Sora could only dual wield because of his unique magical clothes. And this conversation is going to get weird when I use the phrase because of his clothes, but like, Sora can dual wield anytime he wants because he absorbed Roxas and by extension Xion. Sora can dual wield at any time. He demonstrated this in his final fight with Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 2. That wasn't just for cinematic purposes. Sora could legitimately dual wield 2 Keyblades if he wanted to. He just doesn't because Sora. The only, like, okay, another point is his limit form. He uses his magical clothes to help fuel the limit form. That's what allows him those abilities are the clothes. Okay, so there's that. If he wanted to, he could dual wield in limit form, which I think would probably be the coolest form in the game, rivaling even final form, but he never does. And then there's wisdom form. Again, he could dual wield in wisdom form. He just doesn't. Instead, he uses the magic of his clothes. That's going to get even weirder the more I say it. To, you know, magnify his magic, to make his magic more potent. That's what he uses the clothing for. Valor, Master, and Final Form are all him dual wielding, but he's using the clothes to magnify those powers. Like, the closest thing Sora would probably be like if he wasn't using those magical clothes would probably Valor Form. If he chose to dual wield, it just probably wouldn't be as fast. It's probably like around Roxas's speed when he was dual wielding his Keyblades. It'd be something like that, but, you know, it'd be like Valor Form, just slower. Master Form, that's another obvious one where he's kind of levitating one of the Keyblades and his aerial game is super strong. And then Final Form goes without saying, where he just straight up uses the Keyblades with telekinesis. All of that, I believe, is fueled by the clothes themselves. As far as dual wielding is concerned, Sora does not need the clothes, the magic clothes. He does not need the magical clothing, or i.e. the limit forms, to dual wield. He doesn't need Valor Form to do it. He doesn't need Master Form. He doesn't need Final Form. He can dual wield whenever he wants. He just chooses not to. But the entire reason he can dual wield at all is because he absorbed Roxas, and because Roxas absorbed Xion. So that just goes back to what I said about the Lingering Wheel. The Lingering Wheel is my favorite boss in any game ever. It is so interesting. Like, here's something I want you all to consider. The Lingering Wheel, when it fought Xehanort, it would use the exact same moveset as Sora. I mean, not Sora, sorry. I thought of Sora because it fights Sora later. See, that's what I'm talking about. When I make mistakes like that and I don't correct myself, you know who I mean. Obviously, I meant when it fought Terra Xehanort. Anyway, when it fought Terra Xehanort, it used the exact same moveset as him. Terra, I mean. It had the exact same moveset as Terra. So, it was kind of like at Terra at his peak. So, with that in mind, when the Lingering Wheel defeats Terranort, and it's left there in the Keyblade graveyard for about 11 years, and then Sora comes later, mechanically speaking, the Lingering Wheel does not move at all for those 11 years. I didn't know that. I thought at the very least maybe it practiced its moves. Turns out it didn't. The Lingering Wheel did not move at all until Sora showed up. One of the leading points to this is his very theme song, the name itself, Rage Awakened. It was like asleep, if you will, the entire time. You know, Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 1, and the very end, if you want to look at it, or next to the very end in Kingdom Hearts 2, right before Sora fought Xemnas, is kind of where that fight would fall into place, obviously. The Lingering Wheel, or his final form anyway, Xemnas' final form, at the very latest, from a mechanical perspective, Sora would have had to fight the Lingering Wheel right before he opened the door to Kingdom Hearts, or whatever that dimension was. He would have had to fight him right before that. But let me not get off topic too bad. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I know some of the things that are going on, but not the specifics because I don't remember. So let me not get too far off because I don't want to tell you all the wrong things. So back on track. The Lingering Wheel did not move for 11 years. That means every single move the Lingering Wheel thought up, except for like the Ultimate Shot Lock and the Keyblade Glider form, the things it borrowed from Terra, it thought up every other move on its own, on the fly. That's beyond impressive. That is insane. For it to think up some of the most damaging moves Terra himself couldn't even use on the spot. It's just like it was thinking, I can do this attack, so I might as well do it. It was like that. Like, I can turn my Keyblade into a whip, so I will. I can turn my Keyblade into a bow and arrow. I'll do that. I can turn my Keyblade into like a staff form to do these rituals that will take away magic and items or your attack. It's just amazing that it thinks up all those things to do on the fly. That's really impressive to me. So another reason why I wanted to stress that is because it's not like if Terra does reabsorb the Lingering Will, it won't be the same as, you know, him fusing with himself where he doesn't really change. It's just like he just essentially gets his Keyblade back, I guess. It won't be... That's another interesting point. Will there be two ends of the Earth? That's another interesting point. I didn't really think of that until just this second. The Lingering Will has Kira. The Lingering Will has Terra's Keyblade. There's ripoff Tira, or Tira, right down there. But the Lingering Will has Terra's Keyblade. So when Terra is freed from Xehanort, again, not only what happens to the Lingering Will, how will he get his Keyblade back? Or will there just be two of them? I don't know. Because the argument for that is, well, the fight with Terra Xehanort, he can use the Ultima Shot Lock. I think that's kind of unfair, because it kind of makes the game not make sense. But this is Kingdom Hearts, so who knows? Because it's like saying, well, it is Terra, even though the Lingering Will has his Keyblade, so ergo, they both can use it. So I guess that makes sense. I guess. Roxas could with Sora, but at the same time, Sora was also in a coma the entire time. And the only reason Xion could use it was because she was a clone of Roxas, who was using Sora's Keyblade while Sora was comatose. So that at least makes sense. It's like he straight up took the Kingdom Key from Sora versus both of them using it at the same time, like the Lingering Will and Terranort did. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just for gameplay reasons or if there's actually some lore there, but that's my point why that's confusing. Anyway, if Terra was to refuse or absorb the Lingering Will, I gotcha. He would actually gain the abilities of the Lingering Will, wouldn't he? I'm not saying he'd be able to dual wield because the Lingering Will has no heart, so he won't be able to use two Keyblades at once, but he would absorb the abilities of the Lingering Will. Or at least I think that's what happened, if they even go that way. It's just something fun to think about, you know, just something to tide you over until we actually find out. Again, I haven't watched any of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers. The one I did see, I even skimmed through it. So there are some things that probably are explained that I just didn't notice, you know. Wow, she is going down a lot, isn't she? And don't take it out of the context. Don't even try to be funny. You know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it about the Lingering Will. What happens to it when Terra is freed? Will he reabsorb it? Will it just fade away? Will they both be using Ends of the Earth? Who knows? And let me end it on this note. Ends of the Earth is actually my favorite Keyblade. I like the way it looks, and more importantly, I like the name of it, Ends of the Earth. It's from a phrase, to the ends of the earth, which people usually imply to something like, I will chase you to the ends of the earth, I will go to the ends of the earth for you, etc., that kind of thing. So when you take the name in context with Terra's character, as well as you could also make it to be more direct, whereas when he gets the Keyblade and then not long after that he makes the little solemn promise at the Keyblade graveyard right before he, you know, ventures into it, it could be like Terra is... The Keyblade itself is like a physical form of his determination and will to protect Aqua and Ventus from from Xehanort. Sorry, see, that's what I'm talking about. If I make mistakes like that and I don't correct it, you know who I mean. Obviously, you know who I mean. But unfortunately, because I don't use scripts and because I'm a gosh darn scrub, I'm going to be making these mistakes probably for the rest of my life. But I hope my points got across to you. Hopefully I didn't leave anything blank or used a name wrong that I didn't correct, but you obviously know who I meant but want to give me a hard time for it anyway. Hopefully nothing like that happened. But I'm going to end the video now. I kind of said what I needed to say. But I guess the last thing will be, that's why I like Ends of the Earth. What would you say is your favorite Keyblade not used by Sora or Roxas. Like, it can't be. The Roxas Keyblades, and I guess Xion, can only extend to the Keyblades that are unique to them. The ones Sora never got to use. The ones that are unique in the 358/2 games. Those are fine. But no Kingdom Key, no Oblivion, no Oathkeeper, none of that. Not counting Sora's Keyblades, what would your favorite Keyblade be? Like I said, mine is Ends of the Earth. Second place would probably be The Way to the Dawn. And then third place would be Unknown. Oh, actually, there's or not Unknown, No Name. There's actually a special spot for No Name because there's like 3 of them. There's No Name that Xehanort uses. There's No Name that you get when you defeat the mysterious figure in Birth by Sleep. And then get this, because, again, I don't know if I said this already, in Dream Drop Distance, when Master Xehanort possesses his younger self, young Xehanort, to fight Riku, that unique Keyblade that is created is a fusion of Master Xehanort's No Name and, assumingly, the Keyblade that you get when you beat the mysterious figure from Birth by Sleep. It's like, if you look really closely, it mostly resembles the No Name from Birth by Sleep, but if you look really closely, they're not the same Keyblade. It's actually a fusion of the two. So the No Name Keyblade would be in that spot, but those are my favorites. So again, not counting Sora, what would yours be? Axel's, Kairi's, any Keyblade that's not used by Sora, and by extension, closely related, like the Kingdom Key for Roxas and Xion, what would it be? So thank you all for tuning in. I'm so sorry for the numerous mistakes I made. Like I said, the harder I try to make these videos perfect, the more I mess up. I'm talking about my favorite character, the Lingering Wheel, so of course it'll be the video that has the most mistakes, wrong names, all that stuff. Nah, oh well. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you around.